on Sunday. How's the squad feeling going into the game? What's the injury update?
The squad's looking good. I think no real changes from after our game against Durham, so that's good. Lana's back in training with us, so she's really close now. So we'll decide tomorrow whether she's close enough to be part of the squad. If not, it looks good for the games that come after that. So yeah, we're in good spirits, in a good place. Players are looking good. It's obviously we've had to adapt to training times just due to conditions currently, but don't foresee any of those problems at the weekend. I think the temperature's going to get a bit warmer, so yeah, looking forward to the game.
First league game in 2024, this is our last one against Epsom in December. How are you feeling towards it, and how are we looking towards the second half of the season?
Looking forward to it. I think we want to pick up from where we were. I think which is in a good place. I think not just with where we were in the league, but also with our performances. I like the identity of the team at the moment. I like the way that they're managing games with and without the ball against various opposition. So I think there's been some real positives in the first half of the season. Some really good performances, some good individual performances, good team performances, lots of contributions. So we're going to need that in the second half of the season for sure. But I feel the players the mentality is that they're ready for it and they're looking forward to it.
Last time out we beat Durham in the FA Cup. What can we use from that game going into the game on Sunday?
Got confidence. I think, being effective in the top end of the pitch, which is always going to be key for us. We create a lot of chances, of course, and in most games, and we were pretty effective and scored some really spectacular goals. We still have areas in that space to work on for sure, but I think all in all, considering it was a difficult game on a difficult type of surface, it was really managed well from the players. And back to our home fixture, we're looking forward to be back in front of our own fans this week against a Liverpool team who are aggressive, and we've seen that, who had a positive performance before the break against Man United. So a tough team to play against, but it's a game we're expecting to be strong in, and one we're looking forward to.
It's funny for me, obviously you touched on the fans a little bit there. How much are you looking forward to playing in front of them again?
Yeah, they're all special, the games here at the Academy Stadium. I think they sorry, start that again.
Stadium.
It's just force of habit. Yeah, of course, we're looking forward to being back in front of our home fans in the Joy Stadium, and yeah, it's great, when we play the way we play and we put on good performances. The supporters get right behind us and push us on through.
We can go to Zoom now if you've got any questions from the room. Chris.
Hi, Gareth.
Hi.
I just want to ask about sort of Ruby Mace, really, because it sticks in my mind how assured and how promising she looked against Chelsea a couple of seasons ago. That was at the back. Is the plan, though, to kind of develop Ruby as primarily a midfielder, at least in the near future, or is there any desire to sort of mould her as a defender? And do you know where she ideally sees herself?
Yeah, I think that she ideally sees herself as playing higher up the pitch in the midfield area. I think that we've accepted that and we've looked at it, but I think she's keeping an open mind also to how versatile she can be. So most of her performances, regardless whether it's been starting or coming from the bench, have been in that midfield position. But I think she's capable of playing, as we know, at centre-back. I think she could play at right-back. I think she can play further in the attacking midfield positions as well. So, yeah, of course, we're working hard with Ruby and she's working hard herself. I think she's going to be important. She has been important for us so far in a short career here, and a young career as well. She's a young player. And, of course, there's a transitional period when she changes position slightly. But she's attacking it well, and I think that she's going to be probably even more important for us in the second half of the season.
As a more general point, Gareth, in terms of managing a squad and especially the players who aren't playing, Emma Hayes has even talked in the past about needing to learn about that in her career. Can you describe a bit of the process you have at City for players who are out of the team on the periphery? How much is necessary to communicate to them each week? Are there individual meetings? What can you kind of share about that?
Yeah, it's the hardest thing as a coach, I think, to kind of keep everyone happy, and I think it's an impossible job to keep everyone happy. Everybody wants to play. I was no different when I was a player, and I think it's trying to manage that expectation levels. So I think there needs to be a degree of honesty. I think there needs to be a degree of light at the end of the tunnel for these players, and knowing that this is what we see from them and what they can contribute and how they can contribute. And of course, form is always form, and sometimes players are fortunate enough to stay in the team who probably don't deserve to, and vice versa. It can work the other way as well, that actually you deserve to play and you've been training really well, but for one reason or another you just can't quite make that break. And we've got a good group here. I think we have a good understanding here. Of course, I'm not going to say we're completely different to anyone else up and down the country. I think every coach will tell you that this is probably the biggest learning that they can have, which is how to deal with those players, how to make them feel still a part of it, because they are important. There's no doubt about that. And every coach will say that they are so important, but they won't feel massively important if they're not playing, the necessary game time. So, yeah, it's no different to any coach who's working with in a team environment But what I will say is most coaches will also emphasise how important it is to have a group, because if you can't expect to win the WSL with 11, 12 players, it's just impossible. The game is changing. Games are coming thick and fast in various competitions, and the intensity that the game's played at now demands that sometimes the team will change, and players need to be ready for that.
Thanks, Gareth. All the best.
Thank you.
Thanks, Chris. We'll go to Mike Minay next.
Hi, Gareth. You okay?
Hi, Mike. Yeah, good, thanks.
On that note, then, when you talk of squad rotation and managing the squad, how much do we look at Sunday's lineup as a nod to what's happening on Wednesday?
Yeah, I mean, it's an easy one for me. I don't look beyond Sunday's game. It's so easy to be able to do that. There'll be some consideration, I would say, but that's as big as it gets for me. I think that we have to take care of Sunday's game, and then we see what the fallout is going into Monday morning. I think that, we have really good options. We have a lot of players who are really knocking on the door, but the players who have got the shirt at the moment are producing, and you have to say sometimes that team will change through slight injuries. Sometimes the team will change through loss of form. Sometimes where we just decide to change certain symmetry on the right side or the left side and sequences, or perhaps we want a player to do a specific role who may be able to do that better than another. So, I think it's like I said to you, it's the hardest part of the job is satisfying the players, because you'll never do it. It's impossible. But what you have to try and do is make them feel they're really valued, so that then when they are ready to play, they're really ready. So for me, it's concentrating on Sunday's game and looking no further than that.
And on the Sunday's game, will any part of your team talk 5 minutes before kick-off have anything to do with what's happening at Stamford Bridge and the fact that if Chelsea slip up and they've slipped up, you could be top?
Never done that previously when we've had prior information. More post-match. I think I maybe mentioned occasional result that, all of a sudden now our 3 points that we've got has improved that. But no, I've always said, and I'm sure most coaches are the same, is we have to control what we can control, which is our level of performance, our level of application to the game, and we need to take care of that and not worry too much. Of course, we'll always have people who have one eye on those things, and it'll be exactly the same for our game as well.
Thanks, Mike.
And finally, for me, after Sunday, we'll be halfway through the season. You'll probably want me to ask it after Sunday, maybe. But how would you rather sum up the first half of the season?
Yeah, it's hard not to say we're halfway through, having had the Christmas break. But yeah, of course, I think the biggest thing for me is, of course, we're second in the league. We're 3 points behind Chelsea. We're in with a group of teams where the competition levels have really rose. But what I would say was to really highlight is the way we're playing, the way we're dominating games. Majority of the games we played this season, we've been the team that has been really dominant. So I think, of course, we're going to have good moments, difficult moments. But I've been really impressed with the way the players have handled those games so far. And what we've done is given ourselves a good opportunity to go and attack things in the second half of the season, which we will.
Good luck for Sunday. Thank you.
Thanks, Mike. We'll go to Rich next.
Hi, Gareth.
Hi.
Quick one from me. We're seeing a big influx at the moment of Japanese players into the WSL. I don't think there's a transfer window that's going by at the moment without, someone coming over from the league. We saw at the World Cup just how good their style of play is and what they offer. You've obviously got Yui. What does she offer, that others maybe don't? And do you think that is going to be an ever-increasing market for the WSL moving forwards?
Yeah, I think I'll probably answer it the other way round. I think that you will see more and more Japanese players, and I can see why. We've seen a little bit more of an influx more recently. I think that they're very disciplined. They're very coachable in the way that they approach the game. Their level of intensity is good. Their level of game understanding is very, very high. That's one thing I would say. And of course, not everybody's the same. Not all Japanese players are like this, but I think that Yui definitely gives us so many things. I think that she's a highly intelligent footballer. I think she's obviously highly capable in her technical ability, but the way she reads the game, I think, is second to none, both in and out of possession. Probably out of possession is one of the best anticipators that I've worked with, and when you've got that type of player, especially as well, who's someone who's hungry and wants to learn and wants to improve, is very coachable, then the sky's the limit. And we've been super impressed with Yui, considering you look at when she came to us. She played previously, obviously, at AC Milan, came to West Ham, played in a more attacking midfield position, and we obviously lost an exceptional player in Kira Walsh. And the way that Yui has adapted to that position and made it her own, but not just that, has put her up there with those top number sixes, I think, in the world. I think she's an incredible talent.
Appreciate it. Cheers.
Thank you, Rich.
We'll go to Joe next.
Hey, Gareth. I was a bit late joining on, so apologies if you've already been asked this one, but I just wanted to quickly ask you about Ellie Roebuck being linked to Barcelona. Did you have any comments on that, mate?
Yeah, no news. I think it's been asked previously regarding Ellie. She's with us. She's training with us. At the moment, she's nursing a slight calf issue, so she's kind of in and out of training a little bit. But no, at the moment, she's our player. Nothing's changed on that front. I think that she's in good spirits. She's come back after the break, which I think was good for her. She's come back in like really high levels of application and with a smile on her face. So at this moment, there's nothing to report on that.
Fantastic. Best of luck on Sunday, mate.
Thank you.
Thanks, Joe. We'll go to Rebecca next.
Hi, Gareth. Hope you're well.
Hi, thank you.
Apologies if you've been asked this again. It cut out at the start. I just wanted to ask about your thoughts on Liverpool's start to the season, how they've done under Matt Beard so far.
Yeah, made a good start. I think they're a very aggressive team majority of the time. I think you've seen that in the way that they try to get about it when they don't have the ball. It can be quite risky. I think that obviously you give yourself to be that aggressive is super, super difficult. We tried to do it in our game, and I think sometimes teams can really exploit the spaces that you leave. And of course, that's obviously you're never going to be able to control all of the phases, whether you have the ball or don't have the ball. It's so difficult, this game, particularly with the level of players that you come up against. So I think they've done really well. I think Matt has obviously been around for a long time now. He's obviously a previous spell at Liverpool as well, so knows the club really well, knows the league really well, and they're improving all of the time, improving the squad. You know, their transfer business has been good as well, and yeah, I think, like I say, it's a difficult game for us, no doubt about that. We've played them quite a bit recently. But again, we need to be on top form, I think, in all areas to be successful in this game.
Thank you. All the best for the weekend.
Thank you.
Thanks, Rebecca. We'll go to Dan next.
Hey, Gareth, hope you're well.
Hi, Dan.
It's just something off the back of that, really. I suppose, you know, we've seen teams kind of challenge that top four before, you know, like Sevilla and Spurs, and it's so difficult to get that consistency and do it again and again and again. kind of in respect to Liverpool, do you think that they're kind of building in a way that, you know, potentially we're going to see them really challenge for that top four, maybe be in the top four in the coming years?
Yeah, I don't see why not. I just think sometimes when you look at the makeup of the league, there is teams that are expected to be up there. There are teams expected to be mid-table, and there are some teams who know that they're going to be fighting the relegation. So sometimes, you know, you can be the architect of your own success sometimes. You know, we've seen it with Leicester, made such a really good start to the season, and now they're a different proposition when you play them than maybe what they were previously. Aston Villa made big strides last season. I think they're still a very good team, regardless of some of their unfortunate results that they've had. But yeah, and Liverpool will always cause teams problems. You know, they're very brave in what they do. So yeah, I don't see any reason why they couldn't be up there. Of course, I think it's important to have consistency at clubs. You know, so keeping Matt on board will be important, and him trying to keep players there, or the nucleus of the squad that he has, to allow him to be even more successful, I think is really important.
That's brilliant. Thanks, Gareth. Best of luck for the
Cheers,
weekend.
Dan.
Cheers.
Thanks, Dan.
Thank you.
That's everything I can say. Thanks, everyone.
Cheers, guys. Thank you.